What's up, everybody? Justin here, and welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, just to let you know, I give you guys fishing reports here on Lake St. Clair. I give you tips, product reviews, and I take you along on my ventures throughout the state, not just out here on Lake St. Clair, but other places that I visit throughout the year. Now, if you clicked on this link of a video, you are here for one thing and one thing only, and that is a Lake St. Clair ice report. And if you live here in Southeast Michigan, you kind of know where this is going to go. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down what is going on with the weather and what we could potentially see if we have a few things happen either way for us. So stay tuned, sit back, and let's get in.
One of the best to ever do it.
So if you tuned in to my last report from December 20th, you know we still had a little bit of ice. So in that video, I was very optimistic to what we had coming. You know, I was a little, it was good, but it wasn't great. Okay. As you can see here, I'm at Beacons. We still had a ton of ice in there. So I was actually in a really good mood when I seen just how much ice we had. But, you know, holiday weekends were coming. I want to take some time off, spend it with my family, give you guys a break from me, because we weren't going to have walkable ice over the Christmas break and holidays of New Year's at all. But I'm back this week, and I want to tell you kind of what's been going on with the weather forecast and what the weathermen are saying that could happen for us here in the area. Sorry, I need to interrupt this video for just a couple quick little notes. Some of you guys just don't watch the end of the video and you're missing this information, and you might actually give a crap about this. But one thing, as you can see here, I actually have a sweatshirt on with my logo on it. I did start up a merchandise store. I do want to thank everybody that has purchased merchandise so far. And if you haven't and you want to support me and the channel, go ahead, click down below in the description for that link. And right there on the screen, as you can see, I opened up a P.O. box so that you guys can send me stuff. Maybe it's lures to try, product to check out, or maybe you just want to send me stuff for the room back behind here. Me and the wife took last week to get this room cleaned up and kind of better to sit here and record to you guys. So if you want to help out with that stuff, there's your information. And let's get back to the report. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So let's go to one source. This was posted today at 1:16. Okay. This is on AccuWeather's website. They're talking about the Polar Vortex plunge that is in store for the northeastern part of the U.S. And if you don't know, we live in the Midwest, but kind of in the Northeast, you know, the eastern side of the Midwest. So what they're saying is that the Polar Vortex is going to be dropping down over towards Boston and Montreal and New York. Now, if you don't know what a polar vortex is, it's a large mass of Arctic air that gets pushed and shoved around by the jet stream and other forces that move our weather around throughout the planet. And what generally we need to do is have that polar vortex shift out towards the Dakotas and swing down with the jet stream so that it hits the Great Lakes region. And what they're saying right now is early to mid-January. That's just not going to happen. Okay, so it's a low pressure polar vortex. It's sitting right over top of the Arctic right now. And we're just kind of waiting and seeing what this jet stream is going to do. And they're saying in late January, we might get that jet stream to kind of suck down a little bit and then begin to cool us back down. So what does that look like in terms of temperature? So let's go to weather.com. And we're going to look at the 10-day forecast, okay? So, on the 10-day forecast, today, you know, high of 37. Tomorrow, Friday, we're looking at 45, a low of 28. Saturday, 44, a low of 31. Sunday, 36, a low of 29. Monday, you know, we're back in the 40s. We're above freezing for the low. So, a lot of this back and forth seesaw temperature. Okay, we get a couple cold days where we're going to make some skim ice in some of these canals that are well protected around the 13th of January, but just not that really, really good ice making temperature that we need to have to make good, safe, walkable ice. So let's look at the long range 25 or 30-day forecast, and let's see what they're telling us about that late January polar vortex. Now, on this monthly forecast, this is actually from weather.com, okay? They do not go out past the 17th with a prediction. But when they roll into your monthly average after that. So as you can see on here, on the 18th through February 1st, they're basically saying 30 degrees, teens for your low, okay? That's what we normally average. But let's click over to AccuWeather, where they actually give a guess of a forecast. So let's get to the 17th, 18th. That's where weather.com kind of leaves us hanging. So if you look at this, on the 17th, we have a high of 37, then dropping right into Friday the 18th. We're below freezing for a high. We're in the teens for the low. And again, on Saturday, same thing. We're in the 20s for a low, 20s for a high, teens for the low. That is some great ice-making temperatures here in southeast Michigan. Depends on the wind, what's going to happen out on the lake, but this is for sure, if this happens, will freeze up our canals and get us on the ice by probably Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of that following week. So from the 21st to the 23rd, somewhere in there, we should be on the canals. But then on the 23rd, guys, we start hitting single digits. And what that tells me is that's when that predicted polar vortex should be sitting right over top of the Great Lakes region. So, where am I with this weather forecast? Well, it's really simple. I'm still optimistic, okay? I'm going to remain optimistic about having an ice season well until about mid-February. And then, if it ain't going to happen by then, it's not going to happen, okay? So, right now, it looks like we're going to have 4 to maybe 6 weeks of good, solid ice fishing conditions. So, if you are one of those guys like take off weeks and weeks of work and go enjoy ice season, you might want to hold off onto those until we see the forecast get a little closer to that mid-January before you take that time off. If you are a roofer or a contractor that works out in this weather, the start of January is actually bearable work conditions for you, so you're not going to get days off from work due to weather to go fishing. So that's where I think we are with the weather forecast leading up until mid-January. So that is my thoughts on where we are with the ice making potential for this season. Go down below in the comments. Let me know what you think of the weather, the weathermen. I know we all hate them, but let me know what you think, where we are with potentially having ice and ice fishing out here on Lake St. Clair. And as always, guys, I do want to thank you for tuning in. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, be sure to click down below, hit that red subscribe button, ding that notification bell that's right to the right of it, and you'll be notified every time I post a video. If you want to pick up some of the merch, the link's down below. If you want to send me stuff, the information is down below in the description, along with a lot of other good information. As always, guys, I do want to thank you once again for tuning in. Tight lines, happy casting, and we'll see you on the next video.